Acting Speaker. The work of legacy is born of a promise made by a soldier to his mate dying on the Western Front. A promise that he would look after his wife and kids. A promise that no widow or family member of a deceased veteran will ever face life's challenges alone. It's a commitment that for nearly 100 years has supported elderly widows, single parents, grieving children and people with a disability, the very people that we are all most concerned about during this difficult time. During my military service, the thing that concerned me more than anything was the thought of how my loved ones would be affected in the event that I was killed or suffered from a serious injury. Like many service personnel, I took great comfort in knowing that my loved ones would be supported by organisations like Legacy should the worst happen. Since its inception, Legacy has been largely supported through donations from the community and from corporate donors. While caring for more than 6,700 widows and 250 dependents spread across an area extending from Bowen to Brisbane, Legacy Brisbane has always sought to be self-sufficient, but the impact of the current pandemic is a massive threat to their work. Due to the impact of the coronavirus directly and the resultant cancellation of Anzac Day events, Legacy Brisbane is facing the prospect of a $1.4 million loss in the next 12 months. This will mean drastically reduced support to the widows and dependents that Legacy Brisbane currently care for. I table a letter that I wrote to the Premier detailing these concerns a month ago. In these difficult times, Mr Acting Speaker, I appreciate that there are many compelling cases which are worthy of state government support. But today I am imploring the Premier to remember the volunteer organisations like Legacy. Like businesses and families, they too are hurting and they too need real government support to get through this. If organisations like Legacy don't receive financial support sooner rather than later, they will fold. I call on the Premier to act now to support Legacy and to allow them to continue their important work for our community. At a time like this, Legacy's value to our community is only magnified, and it's incumbent on the state government to do whatever is necessary to support Legacy in their time of need. Mr Acting Speaker, our communities are hurting. I ask the state government to do more than the bare minimum and support the work of Legacy. It's time to show your commitment to veterans by funding Legacy Brisbane in its time of need. So I say to the Premier, actions speak louder than words. In the lead-up to Anzac Day, we'll hear many well-intentioned words of support from politicians, but words are not enough. Honour the sacrifice of the veterans by supporting those who care for those who are left behind. Before I finish, Mr Acting Speaker, I'd like to mention that people can donate to Legacy by going online to legacy.com.au/donate, and I would encourage my fellow parliamentarians and members of the community to do so.